I was born in the year 1819 at Kensington Palace in London, a small, lively child named Alexandrina Victoria. No one expected that I would one day wear the crown of Britain. My father, the Duke of Kent, was only the fourth son of King George III, and so the throne seemed far from my reach. Yet fate, as it so often does, had other plans. My father died when I was still a baby, my uncles had no legitimate children, and slowly, quietly, I became the next in line. My childhood was a curious mixture of privilege and confinement. My mother, the Duchess of Kent, ruled my life with the help of her companion, Baroness Lehzen. I was watched, guided, and guarded at every step. I had little freedom and few friends, but I grew strong-willed. I knew even then that if I were to be queen, I must learn to stand alone. When my uncle, King William IV, died in the summer of 1837, I was awakened early with the news that I was now queen. I was but 18 years of age, barely a woman grown. And yet, before the morning sun had risen high, I was the sovereign of the greatest empire on earth. I remember my first words, "I will be good," and I meant them. I worked hard from the very beginning. My first Prime Minister, Lord Melbourne, was my trusted guide, wise, patient, and kind. He taught me how to rule, how to listen, and how to hold my ground when necessary. I was young and often nervous, but I found strength in duty. The people, too, seemed to find something in me, a spirit of hope, perhaps, after the wild reigns of my uncles. In 1840, I married my beloved cousin, Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha. He was my anchor and my dearest friend. Albert was clever, thoughtful, and endlessly devoted to improving Britain. Together we had 9 children, 9 noisy, curious, wonderful children, and our home was filled with laughter and learning. Albert encouraged art, science, and industry. It was he who inspired the Great Exhibition of 1851, a marvel of modern achievement that showed the genius of Britain to the world. Our marriage was not only a personal joy, but a partnership in service. We worked side by side for our country, visiting hospitals, founding schools, and supporting the causes of progress. We believed that monarchy must stand for duty, not for luxury. But happiness is rarely eternal. In 1861, my beloved Albert was taken from me, struck down by typhoid fever at the age of 42. His death shattered me. I felt as though the light of my life had gone out forever. I withdrew from public life, wore black in mourning, and could not bear the noise and splendor of court. The people, once so affectionate, grew restless with my absence. Yet I could not bring myself to appear joyful when my heart was broken. Time, however, softens even the deepest sorrow. I returned slowly to my duties, driven by love for my country and the memory of Albert's faith in me. Britain was changing. Railways stretched across the land, factories filled the cities, and our empire expanded to the far corners of the globe. It was an age of invention and ambition, of poetry and power. My name became tied to that era. The Victorian Age, they called it, and I bore that title with humble pride. Though I was queen, I was also a mother and grandmother. My children married into royal families across Europe, into Germany, Russia, Spain, and beyond. They called me the grandmother of Europe, and indeed I saw my family's blood run through many thrones. In my later years, I found peace at Osborne House on the Isle of Wight and at Balmoral in the Scottish Highlands. I loved those quiet places, the green hills, the gentle sea, the loyal servants who treated me not as a sovereign, but as a woman of years. My life had been long and filled with both triumph and sorrow, but I never ceased to be grateful for the honor of serving my people.